It's your boy VOP, Take Action, the voice of the people. I'm here today to ask one question. Is the church dying? Is the church dying? Doesn't matter what denomination, I don't care. All facets. Is the church dying? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, this comes off the back of a video I just watched from the OG Willie D of the group Ghetto Boys. I just heard him say something about a church that needed your W-2 to make sure that you wasn't scamming the church. This video is to ask you guys how you feel about that, but also to kind of like tell you guys how I feel about that. Now, first, before I tell you about how I feel about that, let me let you know a little bit about myself. Now, I come from a Nigerian household, both parents Nigerian. Both mother and father came here at 83, or my father came here a little bit before that. My mother came here at 83. I was born 84. So, I was born in the church, in the Nigerian church. We started in a Catholic church, then we went to a Nigerian church, then we went to a Christian church, then we went to... So I just need you to know that I understand what's going on, and I have an experience with these churches and faith. Now, that W-2, it's not necessarily surprising to me because things like this has been happening for a long time. As churches got bigger and more popular, like the teachings, like I don't know what they call that, teachings where, you know, I forget what they call it, but new age type of teachings and teachings where we could just ask God for whatever we want, he's going to give it to us, and we have to adhere to no rules, this and that and other. As those ideologies have gotten more popular, what I've noticed is the churches have gotten bigger. Congregations have gotten bigger too, and what they've allowed in the church, and not necessarily have scrutinized. Well, let's not say scrutinized, chastised, because nobody should be going without being chastised in this world, especially if we are here to all course correct each other. Now, so what I've noticed is as these churches started getting bigger and almost letting anybody in, that phrase "come as you are," right? That's gotten real popular. Like, come as you are. No, I don't care if you come in your freakum dress. I don't care if you're coming high, drunk from the night before. Come as you are. And I understand that to an extent, you know. But what I've noticed in the church is as they have gotten bigger, and which I believe the church is supposed to be nonprofits, don't even pay taxes. I've seen things like let's say I've seen ATMs at churches. I've seen $10 praise breaks. I've seen $20 stop and praise breaks. Like I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I've seen some crazy things that if one wasn't wise, that'll have you kind of questioning God. But I've known through just getting a closer bond and relationship with God that these things are supposed to happen. Why? These things are supposed to happen because this is not our world. This is, if you subscribe to that, you know whose world this is. Not only if you subscribe to that, if you look left and right, you know whose world this is. It's almost like evil today is cool and being righteous is so unpopular. That's cool. But our topic here is the church and how that plays a part in the whole scheme of things. Now, by the church worrying more about monetarily gains nowadays, instead of getting people to heaven, it's turned a lot of people away from church. Ergo, why I say, has the church died? I used to feel like life, you couldn't leave this life without having a church family, or, you know, you couldn't get into heaven without going to church, Bible study, the whole 9 yards, having a good relationship with the people at your church. But now I'm saying that those are rules that I put forth. And those rules that I put forth were blocking me, to be honest with you. Okay. Yes, I do believe that if you do want to get closer to the Father, to come around more than one person, more than yourself, because church is not just a building. To come around more than one person that kind of but who believes what you believe in, and you guys step in faith all together, I think that does miracles, to be honest with you. But the organization known as church, I believe, is dying, and not only is it dying, it's causing more harm than it is helping. Quick story time. I had a family member who decided to start a church, right? We're not going to judge anybody, but some of their children, were scammers. Let's keep it funky, you know what I'm saying? Scammers, just going around with people's money, acting like they had it like that, and they did nothing to earn it. And they was just a scammer, And it's going to tie into that whole thing. So I used to go to the church because my father was very, very deathly ill. I mean, he was sick for the last 10 years of his life. He had a stroke. And that stroke, for the last 10 years of his life, he hasn't walked straight. He hasn't been able to put together, he's been able to put together thoughts, but from that time he's had a stroke, it was like you were dealing with a child then, if I'm to be just open and honest with you. So those family members decided to take on my pops. And every once in a while, because me and my pops didn't have the best relationship, but me, myself, I know the importance of family. And I'm gonna make another video of that again too, because boundaries need to be set. I don't care what position anybody's in, because you gotta be careful who you look out for, no matter if they're sick, no matter what they're going through, because those people might have put themselves in that. But that's neither here nor there, right? So I used to go to this church with my pops, and the lady in the church, she would invite me to the back to talk to me. And so I remember one day I came in there because actually what was happening in church was affecting me, meaning I actually wanted to do what I needed to do for God. I wanted to stop drinking, which I did for like a month. And if anybody knows me, I like my vices, right? So I stopped smoking, all of this stuff for like a minute. It was probably more than a month, to be honest with you. That's why this imprinted in my mind like that, because I was so hurt. Now, one of these conversations that this lady had with me was telling me that I guess she made a whole sermon about me smoking and drinking, and made sure that she knew that I knew she was talking about me. But what she didn't know was that time I was so excited to go tell her that, that I was so excited that I would, that what we've been doing has worked. But when I got back there, I don't know. Maybe her and my father had issues, but you could tell this lady she did not rock with me at all. She could say anything, but she did not rock with me at all, yo. And she was actually even boasting a little bit while I was back there, like, look at you. And my son, the scammer, he pays tithes. Why haven't you paid tithes? I come from a Nigerian background, so you might hear that slip out every once in a while. But yeah, since that day, man, that kind of messed me up. First and foremost, that lady's supposed to be like family. And you over here talking about your scamming ass son. So that put me off the family altogether. Then that put me off the church, because basically she brought me back there to ask me why wasn't I paying tithes, and that her scamming ass son could pay tithes, you could pay tithes too. And to be honest with you, I wanted to not only pay tithes, but come through. I wanted to be on the choir. I really wanted to not give my life to God. My life is God's anyway, but I wanted to give myself to the church because, you know, you want to be of assistance. You want to be used by the church, you know, because that would be the equivalent of being used by God. So when I heard that, man, that turned me off to the whole, family thing, turned me off to the whole church thing. And so that's why I say, like, and I've been to churches after that, specifically American churches. I don't know the denominations. I don't get into all that. I feel like if you love God, you love God. That denomination, I feel like all that type of stuff is here to separate us, divide us, and I'm not with that. Especially if you're going to come to me with some type of aggression because of what type of Christian, what type of Muslim, what type of Buddhist I am. I'm not hearing that. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and put that down there. Like the church is not a building, my people. So, and then we also got to remember we're dealing with regular people, flesh and blood. And if you look in the Bible, we don't wrestle against the flesh and blood. You know what we wrestle against. Google it. It's not a sermon. So, by that being the case, man, my advice to the people who really want to serve God, if there's a building that you can use your discernment and go into, I feel like that's your church home. You should go there. And if they are fruitful, they help you, you find yourself in a place where you want to help them progress, I believe that's your church home. But nowadays, I really think the church is in the community. Meaning, I really think the church is us. You find yourself 2, 3, 5, 10 like-minded people who all have the same belief system, who all want to see each other progress. I believe you guys will be unstoppable. And that's just my 2 cents, man. You did that. I'm out.
You